We will the introduction, we are already on it, and we will today have a very nice agenda. We will go through a brief update of the SME working group in terms of what happened in the last months, the forum that is currently ongoing, the brochure that we will kick off next week. And then we will move forward to the results, the final results of the SME participation in the first call of SNS, and specifically some results about the SME working group members and their performance in this call. Then I'm very pleased to say that Ioanna from endeavours and from 6G BRICS will present their open call targeting SMEs. And we will also have Jussi-Pekka Hapola from 6G XR to present their open call that it's about to open. And at the end, we will have Claudia De Majo from Trust IT, which is one of our members, to present the standardization efforts that are being done within the SNS and how this can benefit the SME working group. And finally, we will just have a very short wrap-up. So without further ado, I think I will just start. Okay, so about the number of members, this month have been very quiet, so we still have the same number of members in the working group. But Blanca and I are reaching out to the new SMEs that are not part of the working group, but that they somehow are part of consortiums in the first SNS call. And we will do the same for the SMEs that were awarded a project in the second call. Of course, we will also pay attention to the SMEs participating in the project's open calls, but this is a little bit more difficult as these open calls are still going. So anyway, I'm happy to say that even though we haven't grown a lot, we are stable on the numbers. Then this is very important. As you know, we launched a form to collect some information. This covers quite well a few aspects with which we are dealing on the working group. So first of all, we have a section dedicated to collect data on the SME members. Why? Because we've noticed in the past months that our database is outdated in some cases because some people left their companies, but so we get the messages back, or the reference point in the company has changed. Some companies have merged. Some people would like to add some colleagues. Some others would like to maybe not receive that many emails. So we are trying to collect this information. We will just update our database, and afterwards all of these will be deleted. We have also a question here which is about your address, and the purpose is also to help feed in some initiatives like SCODINET, where they are mapping all the SMEs and so on. So we can help them through this. Then, of course, we have some sections dedicated to your participation, but also to your experience in the SNS as a program but also in the SNS as just a funding program, and the different SNS project open calls. In the past months, we have tried to always have guests that come to our meetings, and they give us first-hand information about their open calls, and they are happy to kind of solve your questions and provide you some guidance and so on. And we would like that this also kind of turns into bigger participation in these calls, as we hope this helps you to first receive the information, second, have already a reference point for this, and third, maybe see among the guests in the meeting who already could show some potential interest in the case you would like to have some consortium, so you can see who is attending and maybe just drop them a message if you wish. And maybe this is small way to overcome some issues we have when it comes to matchmaking. The form is quite short. It can be safe, so you don't have to do it just at once. You can go back and do it in several times. And so far we have 12 responses. So thank you very, very much to those who have already filled it in. But we would like to reach at least 30 responses, because it's more or less 30, 40, sometimes 50. It's the amount of people that are often attending the meetings on average. So we would consider that this is kind of a critical mass that could provide some further meaning and support to any result we might have in the questionnaire. And it's also a chance for all of you to maybe provide your suggestions on ways we can improve these meetings and overall the work we do with the working group. Also explore new avenues. Maybe there are some topics that are now drawing your attention, and we could have also speakers, or we would try to organize joint sessions. So I would like to ask you to please complete the questionnaire, and take it as a chance to make this time we spend together even more valuable and more fitting to your needs. So we will keep it open until the end of October, but don't wait to the 31st of October if possible. So just to show you some, these are very preliminary results, but you can see the type of questions as well. Like, okay, so we have most part of the organizations that answered, like 80% are SMEs. We can see here that almost 67% of the organizations that replied participated in the 2022 call. And of those, which is very good, almost 60% obtained some funding. You can also see in the graph on your on the bottom right how it's the experience, or how you assess several aspects of the joint undertaking, and how these have progressed from when the position paper was written in 2020, where several principles or statements or objectives were written there. And now 3 years later, how do you think we have progressed towards those? Is it positive, negative, and so on? So here you can see some of the answers. And now I will pass the word very quickly to Blanca, please.
Hello, everyone. For the ones who don't know me, my name is Blanca Regui. I work as Chief Marketing Officer at Australo, and I'm going to share with you some information about the brochure, social media. Regarding the brochure, as you know, we have the 2023 edition on the website. And for the next edition in January 2024, we will start next week. We will send you an email with all the instructions and the templates to be filled in on Monday. And then you will have to send us the contributions by the 17th of November. And as I said, we will publish the brochure in January and we'll also share it on the website. And next slide. And regarding the social media channels, as you know, our community has grown a lot. We are in charge of Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube. So after the meeting, I will share with you also the links in the chat box. And please follow us and subscribe to the YouTube channel. The Twitter account has increased a lot of followers. Now we have more than 100 followers in the SME working group and more than 900 followers, and in the Networld Europe, more than 800. And we also have more than 100 followers on LinkedIn, and we need you to subscribe to YouTube. If you are followers in those channels, you will see that we already publish a lot of news about events, about open calls, about business opportunities. So if you want us to share this kind of information on those channels, you have to share them with us or tag us when you post them on social media, and please follow us. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Blanca. So maybe I could just stop here for a moment to see if somebody has some comment or question to this point, especially maybe regarding the brochure procedure or the form.
Yeah, on Monday we will send you the instructions and the templates, but on the templates we will have most of you already filled those templates in before. So we will ask you about, yes, the number of employees, country, city, your background, and also the success stories. If you have any success stories, not related to commercial, but success stories about your project or whatever you want to share with us, we can publish. But we will send all this information on Monday. So don't worry, if you have any doubts after receiving it, you can just reply to my email and we will answer your questions.
Yes, exactly. Many of you, as Blanca said, already have this experience, so it's not going to change significantly, but we are always here to help. And as for the social media, as Blanca said, maybe you have noticed that we've tried to reduce the quantity of mails that we are sending in favor of sharing certain news through social media. And the response so far is being good. So that's why we encourage you to subscribe, because most likely we will continue to divert some information and it will only appear then in social media instead of emails, because we know you receive many of them, and not maybe all of them are that relevant for you, or not that relevant for the community as a whole. So that kind of information, we just try to sort it out and put it in social media. But there you can also use it to kind of give yourself visibility. We've noticed that many of you, through your organization or through your projects, are increasingly tagging us. So we are able to repost that, and you get the information almost in real time, which is very nice, especially when we are speaking about things like, for instance, open calls or events that they have a deadline. So it's good to just, you know, go on your phone, have a quick look and say, oh, okay, this is interesting. I will follow it. So now, as I said before, I'll show you a bit what has been the results of the analysis of the SME participation in the first SNS call. So what you are seeing right now, it's the total overview. So it's about all the SMEs, not only those in the working group, but the total. So you can see that 88 SMEs participated in the 2022 call, and these SMEs participated in a total of 135 projects. This means that various SMEs are part of different projects. So this is why there are not 88 projects, but more. Actually, the number of projects is 33. So you can see that some SMEs were really active. It was very nice to see that actually the working group members constitute the majority of these SMEs. So well done for participating. And you can see here like 48% of SMEs participating in one project. But we have some record that also belongs to an SME in the working group that they are active in 7 projects, and this is like the top. So maybe one idea we have is to speak with these SMEs and see if they can give us some tips and some help or some guidance to be part of the project, to be successful on it, and how they manage to join consortiums and so on and so forth. Then you can see on the right and in the graph, like Greece had by far the highest number of SMEs participating and the highest number of project participation. Second, it's Spain. And then we have, but already quite far, especially in terms of SME numbers, France and Italy, although they have very good number of participations. And you can see some other countries that they are more on the lower side, but you probably can see almost every country in EU having some sort of role here, and also some neighbor countries. According to the funding, SMEs, as we already spoke about this data, so it's not new. They accounted for 18.4% of the total funding, which is very good as well. And of course, Greece accounted by 22% of that SME funding. And Spain, which was second in number of SMEs and project participations, it's also second in total funding, but you see it's almost half of what Greece obtained. And then, interesting, Belgium was the third country with the highest funding. So this means that Belgium SMEs were very good attracting funding, because even though they had less number of SMEs and less project participation, they still had some of the highest fundings among all the countries. And here it's more just focused in the working group. So you can see, okay, 36 members of the 88 were SME working group members. And then, of course, also the general pattern also repeats on the working group, because Greece and Spain accounted for the main number of SMEs and participation in projects, as well as the funding. But then it's also interesting to see that, again, Belgium, but also Cyprus, Italy, and Portugal, SMEs all obtain, sorry, SMEs from Belgium, Cyprus, Italy, and Portugal all obtain over 2 million euro, which is quite nice. And when we go a bit more in depth, so we try to map more or less the number of employees. And this was done before we asked you in the form. So we took the data sometimes from your website or sometimes from LinkedIn. So it's not fully accurate, but it was interesting to see that almost half of the SME working group members that participated in the call were small companies, as defined by the European Commission, between 11 and 50 employees. And medium companies, which were the second, constituted the 31% of the participating SMEs. This is very nice because, as you know, SMEs account for something over 90% of the industry in Europe. And many of them, they are small companies or medium, but closer to the smaller side. So this is just to show you that even though the size is not as big, and therefore the resources are more limited, it's still possible to participate and to actually get into the projects and get funding. So it's just overall to encourage all of the SMEs, independently of their size, to try if relevant for your business. And also micro companies, so less than 10 employees, accounted for 70% of the total SMEs, which is also very interesting. And then small, in terms of number of projects in which participated, you see small and medium companies participated in 32 and 30 projects, which is almost 90% of the whole participation. And it's not very surprising that in terms of funding, medium companies obtain a higher funding than small ones. But as you see, the difference is not that shocking, I would say. And micro companies with 7 participations obtain over 2 million euros. And I think, some questions or comments in the chat, but just... okay. Sorry, just checking if there were some questions or comments. And yeah, then if we look at it by country, if we look at the size of SMEs by country, you can see that France, Greece, and Spain have the broadest range. So these countries had small, medium, and micro SMEs participating. And especially in the case of Greece, the micro companies. And then Cyprus, Italy, and Portugal have a bit of a mix of small and medium, and the rest is more towards either medium or small. Yeah, so this is it but I would like to know if you have some comments, if maybe this is what you already expected, if it's something, if you see something new or something maybe you would like to learn more, so we could try to dig in the information. Of course, this will change with the open calls, but yeah, I give you the word. No comments. Very shy audience today. So then I'm very glad to pass the word to Joanna, to 6G Bricks. I think she will introduce the 6G Bricks open call. Joanna, I don't know if you have slides.
Yes, let me share my screen.
I'll stop sharing.
So can you see my presentation?
Yes, we can. Thanks.
Okay, first I want to thank you very much for the invitation. This serves as a great opportunity for us to promote our upcoming open calls and attract more applicants. I'm here today with Kostas, the technical manager of the project, who will present the technical objectives, the 6G Bricks architecture, and will answer any questions regarding the technical requirements of the call. Hi, Kostas.
Hello, Kostas.
So here is a summary of what will be presented. At first, an introduction about our project, the 6G Bricks objectives. Kostas will explain the innovation streams and the so-called bricks that we're developing, and description of our use cases, and then more information about our open calls, the procedures, and so on. So here some general information about the project before I give the floor to Kostas. 6G Bricks is composed of 17 partners coming from 8 different countries: Greece, Spain, Cyprus, Belgium, Germany, Poland, and Ireland. The project coordinator is Professor Christos Verikoukis. The project started on the 1st of January 2023 and will last 3 years. It has received an 8.4 million funding, from which 1.7 are available for financial support to third parties. Kostas will now present the next few slides to briefly explain the technical objectives of the project.
Thank you, Joanna. So 6G Bricks is one of the projects that also delivers some innovation at the radio access network. So we have some radio access network breakthroughs in the form of self-free networking and reconfigurable intelligent services. And this, by the way, I'll also address in the open calls. And those are then connected in an end-to-end facility. In 6G Bricks, we have the concept of Lego bricks, that is reusability. And the idea is that the components that comprise the architecture are packaged inside standardized interfaces like those defined by Open RAN, which allows us to incorporate modules from third parties, which is the case in open calls. Next slide, please, Ioana. So these are the objectives. I'll go over very fast. First objective, the facility is supposed to be evolvable, so we can integrate indeed some third-party components through the BRICS concept. Our use cases are related to holographic communication, metaverse, and digital twinning. These are not addressed in this call, as we are not accepting applications in this first cycle, only components and experimentation on a component level. Objective 3 is basically, again, the BRICS concept, where we have some open APIs and open RAN compliant interfaces that will allow us to easily integrate some third-party components. Objective 4 is about some orchestration innovation, which we will see later. Objective 5 is that we support compute continuum. Objective 5 is our 6G radio access network components, that is the self-free and RIS. And objective 7 is about the security of the facility, also not addressed in the open calls. Next slide, please. So this is the overall architecture. The 6G BRICS facility is basically consisting of 3 main points of presence. You can see the clearly marked 3 boxes here. The top level, the experimentation plane, is hosted at the Industrial Systems Institute, the ISI, which is the coordinator. And it's basically the user plane of the facility, where the experimenters will interact and will be able to contribute XApps, Docker images in the second open call. And then we have on the left-hand side and at the bottom, the KUL site in Belgium, where we have the self-free radio access network. And here we have the validation of the components related to self-free and also compute continuum. And then on the right-hand side at the bottom, we have the Eurecom side. Here we have the components that are related to the core network and the edge. We have the Eurecom end-to-end Open RAN stack. And we also have the RIS components here, which are integrated within the Open RAN Eurecom stack. So depending on the actual components that third-party open call participants want to offer or to prepare experiments, they will be assigned to one of these 3 sites, either at the ISI or KUL or Eurecom. Next slide, please. So these are the innovation streams, various innovations that are supported. Let's go over very, very fast, as these are not necessarily related to the open calls. We have a RIS platform, which is connected to the end-to-end Open RAN stack. We have distributed self-free massive MIMO processing, which is integrated with the self-free radio access network at KUL, and also some multi-band extensions. We have joint communication and sensing support, which is integrated with RIS and self-free. We accept some contributions for communication and sensing. We have a programmable Open RAN unit, which can be programmed by XApps. Also, we accept XApps. We support explainable AI and machine reasoning, which can be integrated with our orchestrator. And then we have the so-called cognitive continuum, which abstracts the core, edge, and fog domains under some common APIs. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. And the use cases, again, those are not very related to open calls, as we're not accepting applications yet. But use case 1 is about the metaverse and whole conferencing. And use case 2 is about Industry 4 and digital twins inspections. Next slide. I think Ioana will take over.
I will continue. Yes, thank you, Kostas. So 6G BRICS project will perform 2 rounds of open calls. The first one from December 2023 to January 2024. and the second one from June to July 2024, in order to select from 14 to 26 third-party experiments. The aim is to validate the capabilities, functionalities, and performance of the 60 bricks experimental facility in extended domains, so as to ensure its wide applicability and value to the market. Applicants must be consortia composed of up to 2 legal entities, SMEs, big companies, or RTOs from Europe or Horizon Europe associated countries. The total budget is approximately 1.7 million euros, and the financial support to be granted is up to 120,000 per consortium and will not exceed the 60K per beneficiary. Here are the topics. For the first open call, we will accept proposals for covering digital twins or emulation solutions for open radio access networks, network data analytics functions, and Aura and machine learning frameworks, experimentation tools for data monitoring, analytics collection, or TMF intent processing, experimentation, extended applications, experiments with RIS radio units or simulated RIS, joint communication and sensing experimentation, emulation solutions for explainable AI-driven causal reasoning and anomaly detection at Aura and beyond 5G infrastructures, and as well as other topics of community interest. The second open call will cover experiments in different vertical domains and applications. For the selection process, we will invite external experts or evaluators who will have the responsibility of scoring proposals based on established criteria, joining the consensus meeting after evaluation to create a ranking list, and of course, maintaining integrity and fairness during this process. A selection committee composed of partners of the 60 bricks project, the project coordinator, the technical manager, the open calls manager, and the innovation manager will have the responsibility of validating all decisions, monitoring and validating the successful proposals performance in the milestones review, and authorize all payments. Regarding the timeline of the first open call, the first call will be announced on the 1st of November. The submission of proposals will be open for 2 months, from December 1st to the end of January. Then the evaluation selection process will last another 2 months, from February to March. The agreements will be prepared and signed during April and May. And finally, the projects will be implemented the last 6 months of 2024, from June to December. Here are the submission and selection steps. At first, the applicants will be required to submit a feasibility check form where they will provide a summary of the proposed work, and they will mention the requested 60 bricks resources for the execution of their experiments. After review, we will give them the green light to proceed with their full proposal submission. An admissibility and eligibility check will be performed, and then 2 external experts will evaluate and score each one of the proposals. The experts will then join a consensus meeting to discuss the results. And then at the panel meeting, where the selection committee of the project, plus 2 of the external experts will participate, the produced ranking list will be finalized. A final check will be performed. All applicants will be notified about the results. The agreements with an individual mentoring plan, which will mention all the KPIs, objectives, the milestones of each project, will be prepared. And the progress of the project will be evaluated in the milestones review as agreed in the subgrant agreements. Here are some details of what will be examined in the various steps of the selection. For the feasibility check, which is a preliminary step before full submission, We will ensure that all submitted proposals align with the goals and available resources of the 60 BRICS. Regarding admissibility, only proposals submitted through our online, official online system before the call's deadline and in English language will be accepted. The type of activity, the type of the third party, as well as their countries must obey to the open call rules. At the independent individual evaluation, the evaluation by the experts, the Horizon Europe criteria will be used. In specific, 3 important parts will be scored: excellence, impact, and implementation. For excellence, all proposals must be beyond the state of the art, set realistic and achievable objectives and KPIs. For the impact section, the added value and benefits for the 60 BRICS project must be highlighted. And for the implementation, the work plan, the allocation of tasks and resources, as well as the skills and experience of the delivery team will be checked. As previously mentioned, the maximum amount to be granted is up to 120,000 per consortium, split as shown in this table. The first stage has 1 month duration, and during that time, the individual mentoring plan has to be finalized and the proof of concept definitions has to be completed. The second stage concerns the implementation of the technical work and will last 4 months. And lastly, the third stage with 1 month duration includes the implementation report and feedback on results and findings. As intellectual property rights are of major concern when submitting a proposal to an open call, here are some important information and rules to be applied. None of any pre-existing intellectual property will be affected by the grant awarded. The awarded projects must not infringe any of the IPR 60 BRICS belongings. A Horizon Europe model grant agreement will be applied, so the results generated will be owned by the beneficiaries. And in the case of 2 partners, the terms of exercise of any joint ownership must be agreed between them. If you are interested not only to participate in our open calls, but in our project in general, visit our website and follow us on social media for the latest information and updates. Soon, all the open call information, rules, the guide for applicants will be published in our channels. In the meantime, if you have any question, you can send us an email to this address. And that's all. Thank you for your attention. Kostas and I will be happy to answer your questions if you have any.
Yes, hello, can I ask something?
Yes, of course.
Sure. It's a more process relation question. When will the payment take place? At the end of the project, of the open call process, let's say?
The payment will be done against specific deliverables and upon achievement of certain milestones or KPIs.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
May I also ask you a question? Will you be able to, for instance, if somebody shows interest and can 2, for example, SMEs apply together, and would you help to facilitate the matchmaking in case they are not able to, or this falls more into each applicant?
Matchmaking, no, we don't have such a provision, Ioanna, right?
That's right, yes.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a consortium of up to 2 partners, 1 or 2. So it shouldn't be really an issue.
Mhm. Thank you.
Thanks.
So thank you very much, Ioana and Kostas.
Thank you for the invitation, Jessica.
I will say that if somebody has some question, please, you can still write in the chat. And of course, you have now both Ioana and Kostas' contacts if you want to directly address them. And I will give the word now, or the floor to Juuso-Pekka Haapala from 6GXR.
Okay, hello. So sorry about the weird camera angle. I'm working on two different screens, and
No
so
worries.
I'll try to share. And let's see what. Okay, this one, and you should be. Do you see the presentation mode or the?
We can see the presentation mode.
Okay. Okay, good. So my name is Jussi Haapala. So I work at the University of Oulu Center for Wireless Communications in Finland. I'm the project coordinator of 6GXR, which stands for 6G Experimental Research Infrastructure to enable next generation XR services. So briefly about the project. So we are belong to the stream C01. So it's an experimental facility project. We have 15 partners from 8 countries, and the duration is 3 years, starting from beginning of this year. As I said, I'm the project coordinator. The technical manager is from Portugal, Dr. Mohamed Al-Rabi. And here's briefly the list of partners involved in the project. And if I straight jump to, let's say, the project key objectives. So we have essentially 3 of them. As we are an infrastructure project, our main key objective is to build a multi-site research infrastructure that provides a validation platform for future developments in 6G. But we actually have a focus on XR, so extended reality and virtual reality applications. So to that end, we actually have two use cases, one considering for holographic communications, the other considering what we call a 3D digital twin, which I'll tell a little bit later. Also, in addition, we are going to validate the multi-access edge computing scenarios, especially with the relation to XR and holographic communications by addressing the entire cloud continuum on where we are going to have the different holographic communications components based on the requirements and needs of the network and the service. So this is a rough layout on the areas where the project actually works on. So we work on like majority of the level or different places of the entire system. So we have different objectives regarding network and computing enablers, XR enablers, also XR use cases, of course, cascading actions. In addition to that, we have an energy measurement system and validation, which I'm going to talk briefly also in the next slides. And we are also working on RUN and so we're working on RUN from the 3 prongs, which is 3GPP advancement. We're also taking the ORAN approach, and we are also researching on disruptive technologies, mainly sub-terahertz communications for targeting 140 gigahertz technologies. So our initial use cases, so regarding the holographic communications, the aim is to enable, let's say, multi-party holographic communication, extending the capability of having such conferencing up to 16 person at a time. And as you can see from the figure in here, there are quite a lot of different components that need to be managed, or actually even developed, managed. You need to decide where each of the services are going to be located, what kind of virtualization can be taken place, what kind of hardware acceleration is needed in different places, etc., etc. The second use case is what we call a 3D digital twin, and this focuses on FabLab environment. So FabLab is a worldwide concept on digital fabrication tools and digital fabrication. And the aim in here is that a user can enter virtual reality, which represents the entire FabLab. The user can interact with a mentor, and you can design and verify digital fabrication models, and then once they are agreed in the virtual space, these can be actually fed into the real FabLab system, and you can actually have the complete process of digital manufacturing without ever being present. And the final goal is, of course, once the item is done, it's directly going to be shipped to the user or the one who wanted to make the design. Then a third major component is that we are considering is an energy measurement framework. So going towards energy self-sustainable network and a base station. Oh, sorry. So here the main activities are to try and be able to characterize the entire end-to-end system and integrate renewable energy generation and renewable resources, and also storage capacity into the network, and identify algorithms and develop algorithms towards we are able to, let's say, maximize the usage of renewable energy and minimize the energy that we need need to actually take from the distribution system operator in order to run the network. Now I'm jumping to the open calls. So 6GXR will provide 3 sets of open calls. There is going to be 30 projects funded throughout the duration of the project in 3 different phases. The total budget is 1.8 million euros, and these will be awarded to 60,000 euro grants, which basically can be applied by only one organization. The aim is to develop and test and different, especially AR, VR, XR realms and the metaverse, but also the said energy measurement framework. 6GXR will, of course, provide mentorship and guidance to the third parties, and these mentors are, of course, from the consortium itself, and depending on the where the experiments will be made. So as a system, so the 6GXR has so-called North and South node. The South node will include 2 different facilities in Spain, which is 5Tonic from Madrid, and then 5G Barcelona in Barcelona. The North node consists of 5G test network, both from University of Oulu and the VTT, which is the government research, technical research center of Finland. We will have these open calls in 3 different waves. The first wave has been just opened day before yesterday, and it will now span for 2 months, of course. And the first open call focuses on enablers. Enablers on networking and computing, enablers on XR, enablers on run, and enablers on sustainability. The second call in 6GXR actually focuses on existing stream B enablers. So we're looking out for solutions and validations and developments all coming from the different stream B projects that have started since the beginning of this year. And that call will be launched on summer 2024. The third one is then once we have a project in such a phase that we have majority of our solutions quite stable and verified, we are looking for vertical replicability enablers. So we allow the third-party users to come and test our systems, compare their own solutions against what we have developed, and try to also replicate and validate the verticals that we have developed in the project. The target for that call opens in spring 2025. So now a bit about the open call one that just opened. So as I said before, we are looking proposals in the 4 different topics, and we have essentially 15 different defined areas in which we are especially interested in having applications. So several of these applications or several of these areas actually do not only belong to one of these 4 areas, but actually cover multiple, at least 2 of them. And finally, I want to say that we are going to have an Open Call 1 information webinar, which is on Friday this week. And I welcome all of you to attend that. We will go through detail on each of the different topics, what we are expecting from the calls, and so forth. I'll just point out that the conditions for funding are quite similar to 6G BRICS. There are some differences. For example, we only allow one entity to apply for a €60 project. Also, the payment condition is such that there will be a single lump payment at the end of an accepted project. And the expected duration of a project is 6 months, or 5 to 6 months. So regarding the evaluate submission and evaluation process, it's extremely similar to what was in or is in 6G BRICS with the external evaluators. The panel in 6GXR, we have so-called Open Call Steering Committee, which is a bit larger than what is the comparable entity in 6G BRICS, but otherwise it's very similar. Also, one thing is that in the beginning, we will do a feasibility check before, like a preliminary feasibility check of a proposal before the actual submission ends, and we will provide feedback whether some changes need to be made. And also we'll do another feasibility check after the call ends to prune out the application that still don't conform to the needs of 6GXR, but otherwise the process is the same. And I think that's all I had to say. So any questions?
Thank you very much, Jussi, for the nice presentation. So please take the opportunity to ask any doubt or question.
Okay.
Okay, so it seems that everything was clear, and thanks for also letting us know about the webinar on Friday. Maybe once participants are able to digest the information, they will go with more questions. And thank you very much.
Yes, and if you want to read more, you go just to the 6GXR web pages. There is a link to the open call where you have all of the, let's say, required information, and you have the proposal template, the full open call information document. You can go through the declaration of honor and third-party agreement, etc. So thank you.
Have a
Thank
nice
you.
day.
Yep.
So again, now I will because yes, we will pass the word to our last guest today. So Claudia.
Hello everyone. Nice seeing all of you. Thank you for having me today. I'm going to share my screen in 2 seconds. Can you see my slides? Yeah?
Yes, we can. Thanks.
Thanks a lot. Okay, thank you for having me here today. Me and Jessica are colleagues on one project, which is SNS Ops. I'm Claudio from Trust IT. Trust IT is a company that, it's an SME actually, that is involved in 5G and 6G, but also in other areas regarding EU-funded research. I will get to that in a second. This presentation today is under my name and also under my colleague's name. Maria was also always there with me in this 6G, 5G adventures, and also in other projects, as I'll show very soon. So I'm from Trust IT. Trust IT, what is Trust IT? Trust IT Services is a digital marketing communication company that was founded almost over 20 years ago in the UK. Nowadays, we are headquartered in Italy, though, because of obviously of Brexit and many other bureaucratic reasons, we had to completely relocate to Italy, to Pisa. We are a team of over 40 plus people, I would say almost 50 nowadays. We are almost crossing the 50 number. And we are specialized, as you can see, in pan-European collaborations, EU research, agenda initiatives. We are a company that has sort of a broad spectrum of specialists, not only project managers and people working in implementing EU-funded research, as for example, in my case, but also graphics, web developers, video makers. We are a very, let's say, broad expertise company in that sense, sort of a startup environment with a lot of expertise and a lot of horizontality. So we have in-house specialists on many fields. We develop a lot of web-based solutions and custom ICT implementations. As you can see here, we work with several technical tools through what is called as an agile and Scrum approach. So we develop back-end and front-end solutions. We do UX UI design. We develop also mobile apps, which is the case, for example, for Prep Soils, our most recent app in another European funded project. We do web development in general. We use a lot of Drupal as CMS, but also WordPress. We do GIS. We also do e-learning platforms. And these are all done in different EU grant research, but also for commercial clients. So as you can see here, this is our portfolio in terms of research and innovation initiatives. We cover several strategic topics. We are heavily involved also in 5G and 6G and ICT standards and excellence, which is kind of the focus of today's presentation, but I wanted to be a bit broader because we also cover other areas such as cybersecurity, for example, cloud edge and IoT, Earth and observation and space, next generation internet, biodiversity and soil, blue economy, you name it. We also have a large commercial portfolio with several clients. Most of them also are EU actors, for example, ESA or ECWF, and many others, but also some small local actors within our national context. Okay, so our involvement in 5G traces back to sort of almost the beginning of the 5G PPP. So we were, first of all, in the RIA project, we were in 5G and Shore, then we coordinated Global 5G, another CSA project. And this involvement has been expanding in time. And nowadays we are involved in 3 CSA projects that are nowadays working in between 5G PPP, but also in the new SNSGU initiative. In 2 of them, I work with Jessica. So one is 6G Start and the other one is SNS Ops. We're also involved in SNS IVES. And obviously, we are always open to new future RNI projects, but also CSAs. So you can call us. What we do for 5G is not only, I mean, actually, it's not what we usually do, which is mostly communication, dissemination, and outreach. In this case, we have a more strategic task. We deal with vertical engagement mapping and gap analysis. We also create roadmaps for 5G and 6G personalization. We do gap analysis, and we do this through the creation of a couple of tools, which I will show you later on, which are also going to be launched now in a rebranded form for the SNSGU initiative. And so these are 2 dedicated online platforms that are called Vertical Cartography and Standards Tracker, although nowadays they will have probably slightly different names, and it will be launched over the next year. But this is pretty much what we do. We also obviously contribute to white paper in various 6GI working groups, depending on whether our expertise fits within that specific piece of work. And we also participate to the creation of infographics, brochures, and other dissemination material. Okay, so our first tool is the vertical cartography, which is going to be rebranded and also remade in a new version with more content taxonomies and new fields that are also linked to each other. And it's going to be called the Vertical Engagement Tracker. Essentially, what the cartography has done for 5G PPP, it has served the purpose of mapping all the use cases developed by 5G PPP sponsor RNI projects. I have to say that nowadays, as of now, we just miss one project. So if you are that one project, you've been called. I'm not sure if the persons are there. I'm not going to say names, but we almost completed this large work, which entails over 300 use cases of developed by different projects and also linked to the corresponding vertical sectors. It's a very large set of use cases. It's a long collection. It will also be analyzed and discussed in a white paper in a while, as soon as we wrap it up. So we're doing this as part of 6G Start right now, completing it, mapping all the vertical use cases developed by RNI projects within 5G PPP initiative. And we will also create, we also already created, actually, it's basically ready, we just need to populate it, a new tool, which is called Vertical Engagement Tracker, which this time will also link more explicitly use cases to relevant standards and also associations. And it's going to be called Vertical Engagement Tracker to really show this engagement. So yeah, contact us if you're developing significant use cases in the new 5G, 6G ecosystem. Also, second tool that we have been doing recently, we have been developing a standards tracker. This also a beta version was launched for 5G PPP, and it's a collaboration platform which was designed to, in a way, help industry specialists developing vertical use cases to navigate the complex standard landscape and create a broader and more diverse community. And we are recently having negotiation with the European Commission on how we should create a new version now for the SNSGU initiative. They would like us to be a bit more integrated in the European standardization strategy overall, because SNS is really prominent there. And so we are trying to understand how we can recreate a new version of the tracker, which would include not only relevant standards, with a better taxonomy this time, with new fields that can help researchers better navigate the complex landscape of standards, but also trying to integrate a bit accomplishments and recent developments made by the SNSGU community throughout the new initiative. So obviously this is just the beginning phase, and we will follow up in the next years, hopefully, and make this new tool, which we will launch in the following year better. And so this is part of SNS Ops. So Jessica knows it's one of our milestones, our work package. And so we will sure need to deliver that within a year from now. Okay, what else do we do in standards? We coordinate STAND ICT, STAND ICT project series, I should say, because there was a first STAND ICT and then now there is a second STAND ICT 2026, which is a regular guest at the European Multi-Stakeholder Platform on ICT Standardization, the MSP, participates in the meetings organized by the Commission. What essentially STAND ICT does is supporting expert contribution through cascading grants, and mostly in the ICT standardization landscape. So mostly, Edge, IoT, AI, but many other topics you can really feel. Obviously, also Australia is involved here, so they know pretty much what we're talking about here. We also coordinate a new, let's say not so new now because it's already been going on for over a year, the HS Booster, a standardization initiative, which is kind of it's a project with a lot of, I would say, outreach. Is was cited also in the EU Code of Practice for the Standardization Commission recommendation. Essentially, HS Booster is not, it's a booster, it's a beta version, obviously, of a larger booster that should be developed by the Commission on standardization for EC-funded research. So it's not all in the ICT domain, it encompasses virtually every domain. What we do is that we create a platform and sort of a structure to bring together projects and relevant experts so that projects in virtually any field, our fields are very vast there, can enjoy consultancy linked to standardization. So how do you standardize your project results? Or even like, how do you navigate the landscape of relevant standards for your research developments? So this is what HS Booster does. And obviously feel free to contact me to know more about that. I can tell you that so far we had around 5 projects from 5G PPP initiative and at least 2 from SNSJU that already applied for HS Booster services. So it's working. And also this is also another of the projects that should be, the Commission wants us to bring a bit closer to the 5G, 6G community in the future. So we will have to see how this can be improved. In that sense, STAND ICT, the second open call STAND ICT is still open. So if you are an expert and want to apply, feel free. It's open until the 2nd of October 2023. And contact me if you need any other information about that. We are not just working on these 2 projects, though. We recently launched a new standardization booster service, which is called C-Blocks. It started on the June 2023. Essentially, what C-Blocks does is working in the area of blockchain and DLT solutions. So it's a standardization booster, but it's really linked to this emerging blockchain application. And there are also open calls for C-Blocks, just as for STAND ICT. The next one is on the 27th of November. So if you're an expert on blockchain and need funding for standardization services, please don't lose this chance to also apply for this new booster. It doesn't end here. We have 3 more projects linked to standardization in the pipeline. One maybe not so relevant for the topics of today, but I'm still going to cite that. It's called EU for Standards. So it's about standardization for higher education institutions. Also, many standard institutes are involved there. So it's a large project about standardization. It's kicking off in November 2023. We also have Indico Global, which is sort of a continuation of Indico, which already existed. And it's really a global standardization landscaping and granting service, which will also try to bridge gaps between the European community and Brazil, China, India, Japan, South Korea, United States, many other countries. Obviously, the idea is to enhance global cooperation and capacity building in ICT and digital policies and standards. So this is linked also to what we're talking about today. Last but not least, Instar, which is a high-level standardization framework, trying to build a high-level standardization framework, activating task forces and organizing events, bringing together and monitoring the development on standards, and creating also international standards cooperation agreements. So both Instar and Indico Global are sort of continuations of Indico, and we're also going to be involved there. So if you're interested in these new developments, they are, I think, yeah, they're both starting on January 2024. So please let us know. I just want to wrap it up here by thanking you all for today's opportunity to talk. And if you have any question, feel free to drop an email to me, contact Jessica to, as a bridge, or just email our info point email address. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Claudio, for the great presentation. As you can see, Claudio and Trust IT are involved in many interesting initiatives that can be of great use when you're just maybe looking for ideas about the use case, or just to help you with standards and other different aspects. So if now you wish to ask something or make some comment or observation just at this time, please feel free to do so. And otherwise, of course, you can always write to Claudio, to the working group, or just to myself. And we will try to answer. Okay, so today we are very quiet. So I just want to make a note, and this is that today we were supposed to have Francesco Simanti, also from Trust IT, speaking on behalf of Stand ICT, but unfortunately, due to mixed up of the different agenda versions, we didn't make the time for it. But as you saw in Claudio's presentation, Stand ICT has an open call right now. And if you would like to have more information, just let me know, and I will be able to put you directly in touch with Francesco and the project, or you can just do it yourself, of course. And now to finalize, because it's almost time, I will just quickly share again my screen. Just to let you know that I hope you are seeing it. Okay, great. So yes. Just to, thanks. Quickly let you know that this overview of activities. So, we have been working for a while in the 5G PPP closure white paper. So this is almost finalized, and I hope you will be able to read there the results of this period and of this project very soon. The SNS project questionnaire, in which also Claudio is involved, is almost finalized, and we are discussing the possibility of having a webinar or maybe some other form to share with all the community the outcomes, but I will let you know more when this is clearer. The 6GIA latest position paper is available, so we will share the presentation and therefore the link. We will also have this Digital Innovation Hubs workshop on the 5th of October, which is supported by SNS Ops and Scottinet. Pierre-Yves was with us before the summer, sharing this initiative and what they do. So it could be interesting for you to attend as a follow-up and to learn more, maybe to provide your feedback and so on. The results of the second consultation for the SNS Work Program 2024 were presented by 6GIA last week, and the recording is available for you to go through it, which is very interesting. And to remind you that FIDAL Open Call has been launched, so you have the links there. As you remember, we had the project manager a few months ago explaining to us the open call, the requirements, and all of the necessary requisites to participate. So do not hesitate to go back to him. And just as for the next month, until we see each other, we will send you a doodle to set up a date to meet in November. Our next guest, which is already confirmed, is Aeros project. They will also speak to us about their open call. Again, please, I encourage you very much to just send us a message if you would like to present something interesting you are doing to the whole community, or if you feel like if we can help you with some matchmaking for some of these open calls that we have been discussing today or in the past months, just do not hesitate to reach out to us. We will try always to do our best. In the next meeting, we will present hopefully the results of the forum that we talked about in the beginning. You will be able to check this meeting in YouTube. We will share the link with you. And just a reminder that do not forget to subscribe to Twitter and to LinkedIn. So you make sure that you get all the information. And yeah, we are very much on time. So thank you very much to all of you who attended. I think it was a very nice meeting. It was very interesting to listen to our guests. And I hope you also found valuable the results and the overviews we presented. You will have the slides, so you can go with more time and maybe with your team over them. And I hope that also encouraged you to further participate in SNS projects and open calls. And just maybe one small request that if in the next meeting we try to be a bit more active, so our guests have some questions and some comments and feedback from your side as well. That's also very nice. So yeah, I wish you a very good day, and we will keep in touch. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.